Turn up the dial, it's 10:30. Be back. Spin that back show, all the classics on track. From 79 to 99, we're crossing the gap. Album reviews, little known facts, hip hop intact. Saturday mornings, dive into the history. Samples and stories, old school mysteries. From early self-static, Shiraz and CBD. Nola Badapine. Turn it up, let the vinyl spin. 10:30 sharp, where the stories begin. From the golden era, treasures within. Spin that back show every Saturday when we break it down, the legends and the lore. Every beat, every rhyme, uncover more. From Grandmaster Flash to Nas's Raw, we're bridging the past, hip-hop's core. Let me put on my sunglasses so I can see what they ain't looking at. So anyway, check this out. Welcome back to another one of those Spin That Back shows. Let me spin that back one. Yes, sir. And we got a great show coming up for you today. Me and Mr. Nice Guy, we're gonna take a trip to the land of funk. We're going down to Ohio. And we're going to talk about some of this funk that came out of Ohio and some of these groups that came out of Ohio that had a big influence on hip hop because, you know, our big thing is we like to talk about hip hop from 79 to 99, that great era where they did a lot of sampling and everybody was just doing their own thing. But what influenced this was a lot of good music, you know, a lot of good artists and everything. And a lot of these artists came from the great state of Ohio. Would you agree with me, Mr. Nice Guy, about that?
Absolutely. Before doing the research for the show, I didn't understand it. I knew about these songs, I knew about these artists, but I didn't know about this sort of like Ohio collective. You know, I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, so we know about Stax. My biological father worked at Stax. My biological mother worked at Stax. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's what the situation. So Detroit has Motown, but, you know, I'm starting to learn that Ohio, their movement, man, their movement contributed a lot. So, yeah, let's get into it.
Yes, sir. So let's spin that back one time and get into this show right here. So we're not gonna go into like the whole history of the whole artists and everything. We probably won't even cover all the artists that came from this, you know, from this area and everything. But we're gonna talk about a whole lot of them. So I got a whole list of people I got right here, and I want to start off with. Let's see who we got here. Who is this here? Oh, that look like the. Do you know what that is, brother?
Let me see. This is the Isleys.
The Isley Brothers. Ohio originally, and they ended up moving out to Teaneck, New Jersey, and they ended up starting a record label called Teaneck Records, you know, because they was in Teaneck, New Jersey. But they originally are from Cincinnati, Ohio. I didn't even know that until recently. But yeah, and we know that the Isley Brothers, man, they started back in the 1950s when the first lead singer had actually died, which was one of the brothers. And then, of course, Ron Isley stepped in, and we've been knowing about Ron Isley, what they call Mr. Big. Is that what his name is nowadays?
Mr. Big doing things, you know, R. Kelly, and all that stuff. Yeah, but he's persevered.
You gotta admit, R. Kelly did put him back on the map, you know, back in the
no. R. Kelly was doing his thing, and then, you know, that's a salute type thing. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's, you know, we sit on the shoulders of giants, you know what I'm saying? But it's also something to sort of like send that spotlight back to the people that have basically paved the way for us. So, you know, that was something I can absolutely salute, you know, commend R. Kelly for doing. He did a bunch of terrible stuff that I won't commend him for, but you know,
that's true. I mean, his music will live on, but his legacy is going to be tarnished because of some of the things that he done did salaciously. Either way, you know, but we gotta say it must have been something in the water out there in Ohio, because you got places like Dayton, Cincinnati, especially like Dayton. Dayton is, they call it the land of funk. And that came from, you know, really from the group Lakeside. They had a song called Fantastic Voyage. We're gonna go into Lakeside a little bit later and everything, but we just wanted to, you know, make sure that you understand the reason why we call it Ohio the land of funk. And when you think about all the groups that came out of that little area right there around the time, the 70s and 80s, man, it's unbelievable. But let's start off with the first group I want to talk about is the Isley Brothers. Like I say, started off in the 50s, 1959 with Shout. Then that was with like RCA. Then I think they
Woo, shout. I mean, man, you're talking about one of the probably the greatest party songs, for I know white people particularly, but I'm just saying that this is one of those songs. I think about Animal House. You know what I'm saying? There's what you would call it, the place where they filmed it, the college or whatever. They literally performed that song, like the crowd and all of this stuff, like every game. You know what I'm saying? So it's a great song. I love this stuff. Basically the call, the play to the audience. You know what I'm saying? So I respect everything about that song. Great song.
Yeah, the call and response makes me want to shout.
Yeah, a little bit softer now. All that. I'm just, man. It's just when you just think about the elements of a song, what you try to create, what you try to get people to emotionally feel, what you want to get them to actively do. This song is a perfect manifestation of what you would want as an artist. It's just absolutely great in every way and timeless. It's still dope. You know what I'm saying? To this day.
Right. Real talk. It's one of those songs that never die, basically. But then, they went through a little thing. They even signed with Motown for a little bit. Then they went back and started their own little label, T-Neck Records, and they started releasing music on there. And really around about 71, around in this area, this is when it really started to blow up. They had a song called, I'm thinking it was, it was around this time. They had Lay, 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 of course. But it was one called Love the One You With, I think it was.
Love the
One You With. Lay Lady Lay, and some other stuff around there. This is when they started getting kind of into the funk era and everything. And then they had the album Brother, Brother, Brother. They had a song called Work to Do. If y'all know about that, it's a hell of a song. I Got Work to Do. Great.
Man.
And then any other Pop
hey,
that.
71 was a great year. Great things happened that year.
Yeah, it must have been. Okay. And you know what? We want to get back on that. This guy was born. 73 was a great year. But one of my favorite albums is the 303 album with Who's That Lady? And y'all know Kendrick Lamar used Who's That Lady on that one song on the Pimp a Butterfly, I think it was. I Love Myself. They made a song called Don't Let Me Be Lonely Tonight. I think that was actually a remake. Somebody else had actually did that song before them, but they did their thing. And see, you know what? One thing I can say about the Isleys from the 70s, well, actually from the 50s all the way up to like the 2010s, these boys then had hits after hit after hit after hit after hit. It's too many songs to name. What was that? It Was a Good Day was done by them, and that was Footsteps. Because like I say, we want to tie this into hip hop. So, and then how many other songs you know that used for?
Well, hey, Between the Sheets, man. I mean, just come on now. That's like I see what you would call it. Still Afro was sitting there like Isley Brothers was signed to Motown at one time too. Sure. He's like Shout was straight out the Black Church. He said Fight the Power original too.
Oh, there you go.
Fight there you go. So yes. And he sent me a text like, hey, pay attention to your comments. My bad.
Yeah, they've definitely known for they ballads, they slow songs, Voyage to Atlantis. Oh man, they got so much songs. Footsteps. Man, it's just so many. So I can't even go through them all, man. It's just so much. But they also had a song that Jay-Z had used. I think it was Shit Was All Good just a week ago. Doom, doom, doom. Ballad Fallen Soldier. I think that's the name of the song. I forgot what album it's on because they got a gang of albums too. I'm up here looking at albums from 59 all the way up as far as I got to like 2007. And it's Smooth Sailing. That's an album and a song. In Between the Sheets.
Ooh, man. That song is just so dope, man. It's like the beat, just everything about it. I mean, it's dope. And by the way, after Ignites, I sent you the link in the event that you want to pop on. But yeah, now we're gonna be looking out for your comments, brother.
Yes, sir. So we can start with them right there, and that right there, you like that can take up a whole show. We can actually do a whole show. Man, if we want to go through albums and everything, because a lot of these albums you don't know too much. Well, I don't know personally a whole lot of songs on the albums and everything, and they got so many damn albums, but they got so many songs that was played on the radio and just was just urban hits, things that just shaped my childhood and growing up and everything. I can't think of music, my lifetime without thinking of some of the Isley Brothers. They just fit right there, you know what I'm saying? And then, like I said, in the hip hop world, they actually fit in there too. So, give a good shout out to them. Let me give a spin that what we wanted to start off with. And then after them, I'm gonna go to another man that was a funk genius. Him and his brother, I'm actually throw his brother in there too. That would be Boosie and Catfish Collins from Cincinnati, Ohio.
If you're gonna go there, we kind of gotta first start. Look, we're talking about Ohio, we're talking about the land of funk movement, but really the godfather of funk, all of this stuff is, presumably started with James Brown. And they particularly lean on those two songs from James Brown. Let me see. It's Out of Sight and Papa's Got a Brand New Bag. Those are the songs that are officially considered to be the first songs of funk. And, at that time, Bootsy was, part of James Brown's band. You know what I'm saying? So, that's just letting you know. So when you go to Bootsy, you just want to put in that context, his connective tissue to the godfather, James Brown. So, go ahead.
Well, look, do a quick spin that back, and let me give you a little bit more background on that. See, James Brown was signed to King Records, and King Records was in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I guess one night, I don't know if he fired his group or his group had actually, the JBs, I don't know if they got fired or they separated.
He fired him all. He basically did like Untouchables. You get rid of this jury, bring a whole nother jury up in there.
And then he was like, I want that group that I had seen earlier. It was called, I guess, the House Guests or something like that. But it was Boosie and his brother and, they little group that they was doing. And Boosie was only about 18 years old. His brother was probably about 20, maybe 21 years old. His brother was on guitar. Boosie was on bass. And that's how they got hooked up with James Brown. And from there, they learned about the one because James Brown was about the one. Everything is on the one. Everything hits on the one. Boosie brought the one to Parliament. He brought it to George Clinton and explained to him what the one was. It's as long as you hit that boom, that one on the one, you can play anything you want to, just as long as you come back to that one and hit that boom on that one. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, sir. So Boosie was with James Brown, and then they only stayed with him for about a year or two. And then he went off. They was doing their own little thing, and then they ended up hooking up with Parliament Funkadelic. And that was around 75, 76, around the Chocolate City, like that. And it just went from there. And ironically, we can get to these people too. In fact, we might have to get to them right now, just so I can kind of say, yeah, the Ohio Players. They named the name Ohio in there, Ohio Players. And before I even go there, though, let me actually say this too. Boosie had a big old influence on a lot of hip hop music too. We could go on and on. Let me think of one. One of the first songs I can think of is "We Want Easy," which came from a song called "We Want Boosie." I don't know if that's the name of the song. Is that the name of the song? "We Want Boosie"?
Easy. Yeah. Well, I'm not so much sure about that. I just know that definitely, Bootsy. Well, first of all, when you connect him with the whole Parliament Funkadelic, I don't want to get too ahead of us. We're talking about that. I'm gonna pull back because I want to. You bring up Parliament Funkadelic, and it's amazing how Bootsy had that connective tissue to James Brown, and Clinton had that connection to Sly and the Family Stone, because he was basically, what I'm saying, he was working with them, so they couldn't lose. You know what I'm saying? They had such good roots. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let me get out your way. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that's it. My bad. And the name of the song was "We Want Boosie." Yes, sir. I just actually looked it up. It is "We Want Boosie." Yes, sir. But go ahead. That's all good because I was getting ready to say the Ohio Players. One thing about the Ohio Players, they're a keyboard player that actually came in on their albums like in the early 70s. They had got a keyboard player named Junie Morris. And he ended up playing with Parliament Funkadelic too. In fact, he was one of the main writers for One Nation Under the Groove. Everybody think it's Bernie Warren, but no, that was actually a dude named Junie Morrison, the one that played Funky Worm.
Oh man. And then, of course, you're talking about Easy and you know, what's that? That's the Dope Man, right? That's the Dope Man where they did that,
Yes.
which is dope, Funky Worm. But I'm gonna tell you something about Ohio Players. You know what I'm saying? They had that album Fire, and we're gonna talk about the cover. I remember that LL Cool J in a diss song, he was talking about Ice-T, and he's talking about Ice-T's album. He said, you know, basically he's talking about what he did with that cover. He took the cover home to the bathroom. I'm just saying that Ohio that Ohio Players album, because it wasn't just fire on the outside. When you folded up, she was all laid out. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No.
I ain't trying to go too deep into it, man. I'm just saying it was a bathroom worthy album cover. So you know what I'm saying. That was one of my first life lessons. Looking at the album, I'm not saying what I did or did not do, which I will neither confirm nor deny.
Okay, I was looking at the Fire album cover here. You know, I can't put it up on the screen right now, but it's the same girl that was on the Honey album too.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I got
that one too.
I got that album up here. Let me see if I got that up here. I think it was this girl here, right?
No, it was a sister. I think it was a sister on the Ohio.
Sister? What you think that is? That's a sister.
Well, I'm talking about her like more. She looked more sisterly.
You know what?
Different sense then.
Hey, wait for it because I'll be having these crazy pictures that don't be having no. I won't be having time to put the quality. They're trying to find pictures to throw up. Man. That's why I ain't got too many pictures up here.
Management got on us about using blurry pictures. So yeah, you know.
Yeah. The Ohio Players, they was known for having these provocative pictures and everything. They used to have these women with, you know, like bikinis and, you know, damn near naked, you know, halfway naked and everything on their album covers. So they got a lot of attention from that, you know. So, and then they had albums with names like, I think it was Climax, you know, stuff like that. Let me see. Let me look at these albums.
And some dope ass songs. Yeah.
Ecstasy, Pleasure, Climax. You know, they had these, you know, provocative, you know, titles for their albums and stuff. And then if you look at the album covers, you had like a woman that was like bald headed, you know, scantily clad, you know, just like a bikini on, barely anything there. Looking good though, you know. And nobody was doing that back in them days. They had their own thing. And once again, a lot of people sampled a lot of Ohio Players' music.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. In fact, let me spin that back one time and see what we can come up with real quick. First song that came up that comes to mind to me. I mean, I know it's other songs, but it's a song called "Ecstasy," and that was used for Jay-Z and Biggie, Brooklyn's Finest.
Dope. Yeah.
You know any other songs that was? I know Skin Tight was used for a lot of stuff.
Okay, so I didn't really care for this rapper, but I remember his name was Kid something. He had that On Fire. Dang, you know, I forgot what his name was, but I could almost picture it, except for the fact that I'm face blindness. I can't picture anything. But but his name was Kid something. But he had a song called On Fire, and he basically used that. That's like a bad example. But as far as I remember Salt and Pepper used the roller coaster in a song called Champagne. They did it was for the soundtrack of the movie with Adam Sandler and Damon Wayans. That Champagne song is dope. Yeah, it's dope. It's a dope ass Salt and Pepper. I love Salt and Pepper, by the way.
I know it's a legend behind this song. That song, Roller Coaster. They said somewhere in the song you can hear somebody. It sounds like somebody's actually dying in the song or something like that.
Ouch.
Some type of screaming or something. I never heard. I don't know where they get that from, but I know this song back and forth. I don't hear nothing like that. I just heard it on the internet.
I hope it's just the little death, which is literally what the term orgasm comes from.
All right, it's another song called "Players Ballin'." And this is a song that was actually used for Pete Rock and CL Smooth. That ooh-ho, ooh-ho. They had used that. I forgot exactly what song it was, but I know the days of way back NWA, they actually let's see, it's another song. Oh, I think it's called Food Stamps, y'all, if I'm not mistaken. That's actually off the Honey album. No, not off the Honey album. Actually, you know what? Don't even worry about it. I'm not going to even go there because it's just a little part that was in the wash. In the wash, they have some music playing in the background, and one little part is actually some Ohio players. But all that type of stuff is in all kinds of movies anyway. So, you know, I shouldn't even be going there saying that because that's, you know, I can't even put no just it's a song called Pain off the Pain album, you know, the song Pain, which was the first song that they had got Junie Morrison. He, like I say, was a keyboardist and pianist and everything. It's the first time that they used him, and he helped them write that song right there. And y'all know A Tribe Called Quest, a song called What Really Goes On. It's a trumpet part. That's from Pain. Just a little bit.
Tribe, shout out to Tribe. Oh my goodness, man! There's some great producers up in here. Pete Rock.
When I first heard that, I was like, I was listening to the Tribe song. I'm like, I know that sample. Man, it took me about 2 or 3 months to realize what that sample was.
I love going back and listening to old music and sitting there going, oh, I see where they grabbed it. Oh, they see, you know, because I remember digging in them crates. I mean, that was some work. You can say what you want to say about a person who can just think a tune in their head and just play it. I'm just telling you, we spent a lot of time going through stuff, taking a little bit of something, and then adding this to something and create that was a whole lot of work. It took a whole lot of time to create back in them days.
All right, and just to move on a little bit, and we want to stay on the hip hop tip too. One more group I gotta bring up from over there, that Dayton area, was Zapp and Roger.
Oh my goodness.
Now, Zapp and Roger, when they came out,
they father of auto-tune.
No, not exactly. Not exactly. That talk about let me tell you who was using it first. Frampton. What's that man?
Peter Frampton.
And guess who else used it?
Who else?
Stevie Wonder.
Oh.
Back in the early 70s, Stevie was on that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't use it a whole lot, but he used it on a couple of songs, though. Just to, you know, so just to let y'all know. Other songs is called Love Having You Around on one of those early albums. I think it was like Music in My Mind. I think it's on that album. It's like the very first song. You can hear him on the talk box. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But Zapp, when Mo Bounce came out, first of all, Mo Bounce, there's a connection there too. There's a connection to Bootsy and, of course, George Clinton, because George Clinton and Bootsy helped them actually produce that album. So Mo Bounce, but Mo Bounce had to be the, you know, if you want to get a West Coast party started, some Mo Bounce.
I was literally thinking this is the urban anthem. You know what I'm saying, on the West Coast. Yeah, you're gonna get people acting a fool, man. It's and just the songs that every song that uses this song pretty much hit as far as like being good. I'm not necessarily blew up on the charts, but I'm thinking about Heavy D used it, EPMD, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, it's just, man, there's a lot of people use Mo Bounce. This, you know, it's just dope.
Oh yeah, of course. And of course, you know, after Mo Bounce, let me see. Oh shit. Well, they had so much stuff though. Let's see what else they had. Let me see. Mo Bounce. Let's go to the next album, Zapp 2. Dance Floor, great song. Let's see, let's go to number 3.
Computer Love.
Oh, Computer. Wait a minute. What about It's Gonna Be All Right?
Man.
And
what a time for them to just be doing something that was so revolutionary and so different, and just, you know, just youngsters having fun. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, man.
And y'all know, after they dropped that Mo Bounce album, that first album, the album with Mo Bounce, the first Zapp album, Roger made his own album called The Many Faces of Roger. And he came out with a song called Heard It Through the Grapevine. It was a remake, of course, of
yeah.
Soul song. Marvin Gaye, and I think who else?
Gladys was the
Like-
first. Gladys Knight was the first version.
You sure?
Yes,
think
her
Marvin-
version was. Marvin was like in the 80s or something. Hers was like
the 60s too, bro.
they heard it from the grapevine. Heard it from the grapevine. Hold on, I'm about to look this up. I'm
Yeah, look
pretty
that
sure
up.
that she had the original.
But his version was way different. His was in the 80s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. His version, yeah.
And y'all know, if y'all think about Friday when Big Worm first pulled up on Smokey, they playing Heard Through the Grapevine, y'all.
Yeah, so I Heard It Through the Grapevine was a Motown song written by Norman Whitfield and Baron Strong in 1966. And it was a hit for Gladys Knight and the Pips.
Okay.
Feist. And they got the hip hop version. Their song is like a banger, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever. I love Marvin Gaye's version, you know what I'm saying? But it's more of a laid back, kind of smooth, cool type stuff like that. But that Heard from the Grapevine is like the Gladys version, Gladys Knight Pip version. That's a banger. That's a hip hop, you know, just up tempo joint.
It's a little bit more up tempo. Marvin's a little bit more laid back, and Rogers is actually just funky, straight up. Straight up.
Funky.
I recommend, if y'all want to get a good funk album, this is a good album to get. The Many Faces of Roger. Great album through and through. You got Heard Through the Grapevine. You got So Rough, So Tough on there. You got Do It Right.
So Rough, So Tough.
It's a great song, great album right there. So
it is, man.
we want to give right in, and rest in peace to Roger and his brother. So you know, one of his brothers that took out the other one. It's just crazy, bro.
Yeah.
So we want to give props because they was from Ohio too, and this is all about Ohio today. So this is what we're talking about with Ohio. Let me move on a little bit, unless there's somebody you want to throw up in here real quick.
No, I'm gonna let you go through the process, And we're speaking about Ohio, shout out to LeBron James, who's still doing big things late in life for our Lakers. But go ahead, what you got up next?
I'm gonna give you a spin that back to that. Like that. All right, so next I got up here. Y'all might not know too much about this group, but I'm gonna tell y'all this is a hell of a group too. Slave. They started off with a song that the first song I remember, I think most people remember, is Slide. Slide. Doom, 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 doom. Everybody, one of the greatest bass lines of all time. What else does Slave have? Can you name some more Slave songs you remember? Watching You.
Watching You, that's dope. I'm trying to pull it up myself right there because definitely. They didn't pull out the wrong stuff. This Google went to a very dark place. So, but yeah,
they had another song called Son of Slide too. It was just like another take on the same song, basically, just to let y'all know. So Slide, you got Slide and you got Son of Slide too. But yeah. Let me see what else I got over here on Slide. I can remember. I remember Watching You, and there was a couple more I can't even think of right now. Let me get to them real quick. But if I can't say this, though, I will say this much right here. The drummer, one of their drummers was a dude named Steve Arrington, which was actually one of their lead singers, which was like the most notable lead singer, more or less. He also went off and did his own thing called Steve Arrington's Hall of Fame. And he had made a whole lot of good songs too, like Way Out, Snapshot, Weak at the Knees, Nobody Can Be You. Nobody Can Be You But You. First time I heard that was on the Brand Nubian's first album. I heard that Nobody Can Be You But You. Then my brother was like, that's Steve Arrington. I'm like, who the hell is Steve Arrington? This was Slide. I was like, from the Slave. I'm like, oh, for real? Yeah, okay. That's why I got into him. Like, yo. So that's why it's good to have older brothers and sisters that actually knew music and everything. That's why I got a lot of my musical influences from.
Oh man, Just a Touch of Love.
Just a touch of love. There you go.
Oh my goodness.
That right there deserves a spin that back. There you go, bro. That's what I'm talking about.
That song. Whew. Yeah, that's a dope one right there.
Yeah. And then actually, not to spend too much time, but I just want, like I say, and then Slide, like I said, was it Slide? Yeah, Slide was used for a lot of, hip hop songs and stuff. And then you got the doom, doom, to doom, 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 doom. What song is that?
There's a lot of people that use that. I'm trying to think of. I feel like Jay-Z. I'm thinking right off the bat.
Weak at the Knees. Weak at the Knees. There you go. Yeah, Jay-Z and Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah.
Ice Cube on a couple of things. Well, Ice Cube for the nigga you love to hate, and NWA.
Yep.
And NWA was at Gangsta, I think it is. Yeah, Gangsta used it too. Okay, and also there was a spinoff off of Slave was a group called Aura. You know anything about this group, bro?
That I don't. Let me come back to the screen and see what you put up here. That name doesn't ring a bell, but I'm sure that I'm going to recognize the music once you start talking about it.
Okay, so Aura, they had a song. Let me see what we got here.
And this is Aura, A-U-R-A.
A-U-R-R-A, I think it is. And they had it's something on here. I forgot the damn song that they made. And they got a real popular. It's a couple of popular songs. And I don't know how I missed this, though. I forgot the songs. Let me see. Give me 1 second here. But actually, but anyway, they was a part of Slave. Slave had kind of like fractured off a little bit. And
I see it.
Yeah. Do you know what song it was that they made
let me see. I'm pulling up their singles.
Why don't you make up your mind? That's one song. Stop wasting so much time. That's one of the songs that they had made. And it was some other stuff that they did too. But anyway, just to let you know, these funk bands, they birthed a whole lot of people. They fractured off. A whole lot of people came along. They probably the other songs that groups that they fractured off into probably didn't do as well as the other groups. Most times it does work like that. Except Steve Arrington, he actually had some good stuff when he actually went off by himself.
Because the two other songs seem to start pretty.
Are You Single? That's what it was. Are You Single? And Why Don't You Make Up Your Mind? That's what they were.
Are You Single? But because the songs that seemed to be charted for them was like Keep Doing It. There's a song called Such a Feeling. I mean, those are songs that got pretty high on the charts. But yeah, Make Up Your Mind and Keep Doing It. Make Up Your Mind and Are You Single? That's like 36 and 35 on the US Dance, Billboard. So that was pretty good. But like I said, Keep Doing It, Nasty Disposition was got up to 27 on there, and Such a Feeling got up to 29.
Yes, sir. And once again, these are groups that's from Ohio. Don't sleep on Ohio, man. Ohio in the 70s and 80s was doing a whole lot of stuff.
Man. Like I said, I'm glad that you hit me to it, because I didn't. Like I said, you hear a lot of this music, but as far as really knowing where it came from, what's going on, man, I really enjoyed that you came. This is what you chose for this to be, and just doing the research on it and connecting all those dots, because all of this music has been a tremendous part of my youth growing up. So I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. And for you saying that, let's go ahead and do a quick spin that back real time for that. There you go. It gives that man his props right there. That's all I'm trying. All right, so listen, let's go to the group that actually inspired the name of this, Lakeside. Lakeside, they had a song called Fantastic Voyage, where they said they wanted to go to the land of funk. And they was talking about their home, Ohio.
Coolio.
Coolio made it, famous in the 90s. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, it's exactly.
A lot of people wasn't even exposed to it. In fact, a lot of people that know about Coolio or hear this song today, they think it's a Coolio song. But yeah, it was really Lakeside. Lakeside made this song back in the in the 80s and everything, the early 80s. And they were actually a hot group at one point too. They had a whole lot of hits. But yeah, Coolio made so much money off of that Fantastic Voyage. It was crazy. You know what? I used to live down the street from Coolio on 119th and Mona. You know what I'm saying? Coolio was broke as a joke. You know what I'm saying?
Just think about it. I mean, he was just think about it. He was part of the Mad Circle. You know what I'm saying? He was kind of an underling of it to basically come out of that and have the great career that he had, solo career that he had. I mean, that's a testament to him. You know what I'm saying? It's for real. I mean, I remember when we used to joke about Bobby Brown going solo and be like, "Come on now." And then Bobby Brown just blew out New Edition. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it be like that. You know what I'm saying? So, salute to, rest in peace. But salute to his legacy.
Yeah, it took a couple of albums.
Even though me and him had that issue.
What issue? You and Bobby Brown?
No, I'm talking about Coolio messing up. Shout out to rest in peace to DJ Rob One, breaking his record because of that whole fuck Compton situation.
Yeah, I had to spin that back. I forgot about that. Yeah. Right. Well, let's say this. The one thing I want to say about Bobby Brown, his first album didn't really do too much, but his second album was blowing.
Yes, exactly. You would, I remember rest in peace, Brick Walls. He said him and his mother were laughing at the prospect of Bobby Brown going solo from New Edition. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, he did it. He was the man. You know what I'm saying? In the late 80s. You know what I'm saying? That second album, the Teddy Riley. That just, man, he did it.
Okay, so let's talk about your boy, my peoples. I was just bringing up Lakeside. So Fantastic Voyage was like basically one of their biggest songs because of Coolio. It became actually maybe even bigger than Life, you know what I'm saying? But even before then, they had some other stuff too. Well, I ain't gonna say even before then, but around that time, they had some other good songs. I remember we had this Fantastic Voyage album in the house when I was a little kid and everything. So I remember there was a lot of other good songs on here, like a song called Say Yes, which was actually cool. Your Love Is on the One, if you remember that song.
and again, that's bringing you to that whole On the One. That's the funk genesis.
Yep. They had some good slow songs. They had remade a Beatles song called I Want to Hold Your Hand. They actually slowed it all the way down, made it a ballad. That was clever.
It charted top 5 on the USB charts. So, yeah.
What song was that?
That I Want to Hold Your Hand. That. And I mean, for them to flip that Beatles remake, I love the Beatles song, by the way. But I'm just saying that they did that. They flipped it, and they got a top 5 hit out of it. So.
Yeah, they did their thing when they flipped that. I even knew it was a Beatles song back in those days, and I was only about 6, 7 years old, and I even understood, like, man, they actually did something here. And then they had another big song too called "It's All the Way Live." If y'all remember that, if you don't remember that, you need to check that out. It's All the Way Live. Yes, sir. I think somebody had used that on some hip hop song too. Honestly, I don't think it was super big, but yeah. But like I said,
that charted number 4. So yeah,
all these groups that we talking about have a connection to hip hop because hip hop artists actually sampled these, these artists too. So this is the reason why
many times.
So let me move it along right now. Let me give you another group that came out of Ohio. Heat Wave.
And also this time, this era, they're basically just, a lot of this is during that sort of like 79, to 99 era. I mean, the 79s and 80s, you know what I'm saying? A lot of this music is actually coming out. So it's not just the hip hoppers that were doing what they're doing. The people that were sampling this is music from like 79, 78, 79 and the 80s and stuff like that. So there is that connection. But yeah, Heat Wave, man.
A lot of stuff that was really sampled like in the later 80s, and because sampling actually started like in the as far as hip hop goes, sampling was started like in the mid 80s, and around that time all the way up to the to the end of our era, 99 and everything. They was taking stuff from from the 70s, 80s, even let's say like this. EPMD had taken a couple of songs like that the crossover. They had got that from a Zap song that had just came out right before they actually sampled it. It had been out for like a week, and Eric Summer and sampled it real quick. And then so what you're saying, that was from Soul to Soul, and Soul to Soul it just came out in the very late 80s too.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So it's fair game. So it is what it is.
Ooh, ain't no half stepping.
Oh yeah. Now we ain't no half stepping, and y'all know that's been used a whole lot of times. Let's think about Big Daddy Kane, number 1, but it's been
fresh
people,
fresh, yeah.
And a whole lot of other people actually use that too. Ain't no half. Oh, it's other songs on there too.
Super Soul Sister, Boogie Nights. Oh yeah, just
Yeah, you want to talk about their songs? Okay, Gangsters. Let me see. Groove Line. Oh.
Yeah, that charted all over. That's that went platinum. So yeah.
Let's see what else they got. I mean, it's a lot of songs I know here. I don't want to just mention them because they probably wasn't really big songs, but it's just personal songs that I like personally, like Razzle Dazzle, Eyeballing, stuff like that. But yeah, one thing I can say is their main writer was a dude. Their keyboardist named Rod Temperton. Now, if you don't know that name, you need to know that name. Rod Temperton wrote a whole lot of Michael Jackson stuff, all the way from when Michael Jackson was working with Quincy Jones. One of his big writers was Rod Temperton. He wrote like Lady in My Life. He wrote Thriller, actual song, a whole lot of stuff. Just to let you know, Rod, and he was a white boy from somewhere in Europe. Just to let you know. What's some more songs that they did that you think of? Let me see. Ain't No Half Stepping, Always and Forever. There you go. That's their big song right there.
And of course, that makes me think about that scene in a House Party. Martin Lawrence trying to grind up all home, singing "Always and Forever."
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And they, but the core group of the group was from Ohio, but then they got that white boy, and oh man, Party Poop was a great song too. Star of the Story was used on one of Tribe Called Quest's songs too. I can't think of the name of the damn song, but I know it's a song called Star of the Story that they actually sampled. The reason why I know that they sampled it is because I had sampled it. Then I found out later that Q-Tip had sampled it, but I went and listened to it. I'm like, oh, damn, Q-Tip did sample this. But he used it in a different way than I used it. So, we still on the same track, which is a good thing. Shout out to Q-Tip.
Yeah, we used to have that happen a lot. Where you think like, but yeah, as long as you do something different, you can still kind of push forward with your thing, but yeah, that happened. Okay. You've been trying to race to get the samples.
We're getting a little low on people now, but let me throw another name out here. It's a group called Sun. They actually made a few songs. Do you know anything about Sun?
I do not.
Okay.
I maybe if I hear the song, but I saw that they were part of the roster, but yeah, I don't off the top. I honestly right now I'm looking up a song that I thought was part of this whole connection that I'm finding out. So I'm glad I didn't say it and really sound like I didn't know what the hell I was talking about. But I'm still trying to see if I can find a connection.
They had a song that was actually sampled by a lot of people called "Sun Is Here," and but it's another couple of songs that they had that was actually big, and I can't think of the name of it right now. I'm gonna try to see if I can find it real quick. Damn, I can't think of the name of the damn song. And I don't want to go through the albums because if I go through the albums, I'm at all the albums I know. Let me just go through them. Anyway, they had a couple of other, big songs out there. Just to let y'all know. And there was actually a good group. They was from Ohio too. Just to pass on through them. Let me move on to somebody else real quick. This is a kind of like a one-hit wonder. Phaso. Are you familiar with them?
That I am not.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you the name of the song. Riding High.
There you go.
Riding High was used on a whole lot of stuff. Y'all gotta look it up. If y'all don't know what it is, go look up the song called Riding High. You'll recognize it instantly if you're a hip-hop fan, because everybody and their mama didn't use this damn track. One person I could think of real quick was like EPMD. They had used it on their first album, I think. Well, no, the second album, I think it was. Second album, I think it was, actually. But then a whole lot of other people. It's called Riding High. You just go check it out. It's a great song. You got the Daz Band. I can't think of no songs off the top of my head right now, but they're from Ohio. Daz Band, can you think of any songs from them real quick?
Daz, you know what? I always mix up with Daz with the song Daz from the song that it's not them. But I'm just saying I always mix it up with the song the sample from Dana Dane the Dana Dane used for Nightmares, you know, the Ice Cube used for whatchamacallit, for No Vaseline.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like I always mess that up. So I know it's not the Dazz Band, but the song is called Disco Jazz Dazz. You know, it's the Dazz Band, Disco Jazz. But I don't remember who's the artist, so I always messed it up. So that's why it'd be dangerous for me to do that.
I think it's Brick, right?
Yeah, I think that. Yeah.
Okay, Brick. Okay, so Dazz Band made Whip It.
Yeah. That was my song. That was my song. Woohoo! So let it whip. Yeah, that was the joint right there. That was one of the first like hits. I like really kind of like current hits that I remember really getting into. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, I remember my homeboy's mom had bought that song or bought that whatever, and it was on the radio. So that, you know, that was, I don't know, that was the thing. Let's see, when did that come out? So 1982. Yeah, that's like the very beginnings for me, because I wasn't really following music. I was pretty young in 1982. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I really understood music, had my own concept to really like 83, 84. So that I remember that was the first like hit song that I remember thinking like, you know, yeah. So that's what's up.
Yeah, yes, sir. I agree, and I get you, and I understand you. But you know, we didn't really get into music, like really into as a DJ into like later 80s, you know, almost to the 90s and stuff like that. And that's when you started collecting music and stuff. When you got old enough to start collecting your own music and going buying your music or recording it off the radio, then you started really getting really into the music on a different level. I got you there. Let me move on. Somebody said
I got okay.
Oh, I was just going to say, let me just throw this in there. And the OJs I heard was from Ohio too. I think that's confirmed, but yeah, you know, just to let you know, OJs did a whole lot of stuff. They got their catalog is too extensive to go through everything. For the Love of Money, you know, everybody knows that song.
For the love of money.
Or more or less doo doo. Everybody knows the damn bass line. And they got so many other songs, especially a whole lot of slow songs and stuff like that. They got a whole lot of upbeat tempos and stuff like that. Man, it's just, you know, the list goes on and on and on for them. So you got somebody else to throw up in there?
I'm about to pull it up. So now I see why they messed me up. So the Dazz Band had a song called Heartbeat, and I was thinking it was the different Heartbeat. So when I was telling you I was doing all of this research, I was trying to get the connection. But yes, so yeah, because I'm also thinking about the Heartbeat, the one that everybody sampled from like Buddy, the Buddy remix, and that's like a female. Like Tana Gardner or something like that. Yeah.
I was getting ready to say Tania. I never knew how to pronounce
something like that. Yeah, I know it's Taana, so I don't know how she pronounces it. But that song is like, you know, one of them ones, you know what I'm saying? But not from this era, not so, you know.
I'm gonna throw a couple more people. We're gonna kind of do like quick drive-bys on people. Bobby Womack is originally from Ohio. Bobby Womack got an extensive library of stuff. Too many things to even go through.
Okay, is Bobby Womack the super dirty Mac guy? That for some reason I'm thinking, is he the dude that did the basically Dirty Mac, the dude that got killed on Figueroa?
Yes.
Yes.
Your boy.
Change gonna come. Change gonna come. What's the name of that? Who's singing that? Which is arguably the greatest song of all time. You know what I'm saying? Change is gonna come. But yeah. I'm gonna have to.
I was slipping my mind right now. How can I miss this? Because he's one of the most influential people in music ever. I can't even think of the man's name. Right.
Sam Cooke. Okay, sorry. I don't know. Yeah, I apologize for that. But yeah, when I think of Bobby Womack, you know, he's got his own music contribution. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, he's literally the poster child for like some Dirty Mac type stuff, you know, because of the whole Sam Cooke. So sorry to be shitting on a person that's no longer here, but I'm just saying when you said that, I'm like, I immediately thought about that. That whole situation is messy.
Yeah, I'm glad you actually mentioned that though. Yeah, since Sam Cooke was his mentor and everything. And Sam Cooke, let me just say this about Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke, took control of his music a long time ago. It's probably the reason why he got killed. He was writing everything, publishing, and all this old stuff. But he had a white boy that was actually kind of like his manager that was controlling stuff, and he's actually still in control of his music to this day. So he probably people speculate that he getting killed. And in the short time that Sam Cooke was actually doing his own music, he made a lot of music.
What? That's why I'm telling you, he is arguably one of the, he's definitely like, when you talk about what some of the greatest song makers, whatever. I mean, that, man, I was going through his discography and I'm just thinking, oh, I want to sample this, I want to sample that, I want to sample this, I want to sample that, Chain Gang, or that's the sound of a man working on the chain. But Change Gonna Come. I mean, that's arguably like my favorite song of all time. It's up there. You know what I'm saying? It's a very emotional song. It's a great movie song. It's a great soundtrack song. You know what I'm saying? So,
And it's crazy because his first hit song was You Send Me. And all he says is, "Oh, darling, you send me." That's why he keeps. He goes into
it was looping.
He
just looping back then.
That man, he made a big impact because a whole lot of people. He crossed over. He was one of the first like real crossover type people too. So you gotta give him that, man. This man, he was incredible. Listen to his music. He was very influential. Like I say, he took control of his music, and it's the same reason probably why. This Otis Redding got killed too because he was trying to take control of his music and everything too.
He's talking about Memphis. He's talking about stats. Yeah.
All right. So a couple more people I just want to throw out there from the great state of Ohio. Randy Crawford. Oh, excuse me. Midnight Star. Midnight Star. Not really too influential on the hip hop, but a couple of people didn't use a lot of their music. Randy Crawford, yeah, if y'all don't know who Randy Crawford was, she was one of the singers from the Jazz Crusaders, that song Street Life, but she got a lot of stuff solo too. She's one of my favorite artists. She's one of those people that has a very unique voice. Randy Crawford, if you hear her voice, you know it's her.
Street Life, that's dope. Everybody's been using that. I always think Street Life, I always think about Jackie Brown. Jackie Brown makes me think about that because that's basically what they were playing in the beginning. While she's on an escalator, not a Spike Lee escalator, but she's on an actual, conveyor belt, whatever.
Yes, sir. And since you said that, Street Life, that's when you talk about like music that you really took on, gravitated to. I gravitated to that song when I was little because I thought she was saying street light.
That's when your ass better get home. Street
exactly.
light.
I played the street light. That means I was playing with my life. You know what I'm saying? I need to get in my house when I saw that street light come on. When you're a kid, you hear stuff, you hear lyrics differently. You know what I'm saying? You think you're hearing one thing, but it's really saying something else. Get a little older, it's like, oh, they're still saying street life. I think she's saying street light.
Pooh, I go and look over the lyrics of songs that I grew up, and they're like, my mind is blown. Like I completely missed the message, completely missed what they said. That's why music is music. It didn't matter that Blind Bunny was in some different language. At the end of the day, it's just you vibe off of it. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to understand everything about music to appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? It happens in English, plain English.
Yes, sir. Definitely. And plus, you have a limited vocabulary as a little kid anyway. So okay, let me throw a couple more people out there. Let's throw out the group, The Deal, which produced LA and Babyface. They came out this group, and they ended up being some of the biggest songwriters, producers of all time in the 80s and 90s, and even to today. I'm pretty sure Babyface is still doing what he's doing. LA is still doing what he's doing. Their legacy is intact, so it is what it is. And people actually sampled their music also, just to say the least. And let me throw one more person out there. This is kind of like an honorable mention, the group Wild Cherry. And Wild Cherry did make a song. I can't think of the name of it right now. Let me think of it, because it was it's like a white boy group, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Group. And their big hit was Play That Funky Music, White Boy.
Oh my goodness. That is a classic banger right there. Wait a second. Play That Funky Music. You sure about that?
Yes,
that was them? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, 100% that was them. I'm thinking about Average White Band. Yeah, no, that is a classic joint right there. So yeah, no, that's one. That's one. That is a legendary, one shot.
Oh, since you just mentioned the Average White Band, the reason why you might be mixing that up is because the reason why they got the reason how they got their name, or the way that they got the name, they was on stage playing playing their little music and everything, and some white boy stood up like, "Hey, how y'all playing funk like that? Y'all just an average white band." Like, that's gonna be the name of the group, Average White Band. Give it up to
Yeah,
them.
they got some dope stuff too. So yeah, salute, man. I tell you, that era produced a lot of great stuff. So there's a lot of great stuff that's been produced on this soil. A lot of terrible things didn't happen, but a lot of great art, as well. So salute to everything that came before us and all the great art that's gonna come, in the future. What's up?
Yes, sir. And one day we might have to do a Spin That Back show on just the white boys that was actually just funky like that, because the Average White Band was
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, that Microphone Fiend, wasn't that sample? That's
Schoolboy Crush. Yes.
That's hip hop. That's hip hop. It's hip hop. It's just yeah.
They made a song called let me see, Pick Up the Pieces. And James Brown, they was mad at that. They was like, man, the JBs, they was like, man, they taking our style. Nah, it don't sound like y'all, brother. You know what I'm saying? The Cut the Cake kind of sounded more like James Brown. But Average White Band, in fact, since you mentioned in this, it's an album called Soul Searching. I recommend everybody go check that album out. It's a banger from top to bottom. Soul Searching. In fact, that's where Tribe Called Quest got the song
We got the jazz. We got the that's another. We got
check the rhyme.
Check the rhyme.
Check the rhyme. That horns, it came from one of the songs on there called Love Your Life. Yes, sir. Just listen to that whole album. It's also got that one of the most famous slow songs on there, which is called "A Love of Your Own." It's on that album too. It's a great album.
If we putting out recommendations, go out there and check out the Meters. Go get you the Anchology, man. Them cats, man. They was some banging, and they're mostly like instrumentals. You know what I'm saying? Or largely instrumentals. You know what I'm saying? It's just they got some joints, man. Great music. So yeah.
That's that good old home down New Orleans folk.
So everybody got their little area, you know what I'm saying? So, shout out.
Yes, sir.
Especially since it's Mardi Gras time. I guess it's apropos.
Yes, sir. With all that being said, I think that'll be it for today. So we like to thank y'all for checking in on us one more time this week. Hey, check out us on YouTube. All the shows that we got on there. We got a whole lot of just good information. Other artists, hip hop wise, sometimes we go back and people that hip hop that era. We back, we might not be back next week. I don't know when we will be back. We had to pre-record my schedule about to get hectic. So I don't know what's going to go on. We appreciate y'all, and we thank y'all for joining us. And we hope and tune, stay with you. Love you.